Yeah. They ain't believe me when I told them crypto was the future. Now they trying to get in, but it's too late. We've been stacking marbles since day one. No banks, no middlemen, just power moves. Let's get it. Yeah.
Right, choppers, there we are. I saw you, Curtis, posting, so I thought, all right, fine, I'll come live. I was just sorting something out. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to a very strange day. I think it's fair to say it's a very, very strange day today. What looked like it was going to be this complete crazy reversal, super mega bullish moment has sort of turned into a bit of a market dump. Like, it's super weird today. We're going to sort of break down and understand a little bit, you know, kind of what's going on and maybe try and get under the skin of it to exactly understand why this market's doing what it's doing. Because at the minute, it makes no sense. It simply doesn't make any sense. We should not, in my opinion right now, be at 116.8. We shouldn't be there. We should be retesting 119. So we need to get under the skin of it. We need to understand why the market's doing what it's doing, whether it's a macro thing, whether it's just a normal run-of-the-mill bull market situation. What is it, right? What is it that is pushing this market down? So we're going to try and get into that tonight and go through it with some key charts, some analysis, and you name it. We got you covered because we need to understand, yeah, because there'll be lots of emotion going around. I absolutely tweeted that out earlier as well to Mark P. It is, in my opinion, manipulation. I feel like I'm going to be able to show you some of those things that that absolutely are creating this nervousness in the market, but at the same time are almost kind of deliberately wrecking people. So we're going to sort of talk about that, and then we'll get into everything else. Do you know what I mean? We'll just kind of hang out, have a good time, party along. You know it is. You know it is. Bringing all the latest and greatest in cryptocurrency news, reviews, technical analysis, and you better believe it, baby. We're all over it. Do you know what I mean? We're all over it. So as always, when everyone comes in, if you do have any thoughts, questions, views, opinions, or anything that maybe you've just never had answered anywhere, let me know in the chat. We'll try and answer it the best we can. And yeah, we can take a look at your coins, tokens, you know, anything you've kind of decided that you think, yeah, this is what I'm about. This is what stands for me. Then I'd love to offer my opinion on it if you so want me to. If you don't, then that's fine. Like, I'm not going to stress it. But anyway, don't forget, share this far and wide. Let's make sure we're tapping the screen, locking in those likes, and make sure we're all over it as well, which would be great news for everybody, actually. It would be great news for everybody, keeping it super, super bullish. And there's also been some pretty good macro news as well today. So anyway, as we said, lots to get into, lots to discuss. I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure everyone is going to be super hyped. And I, for one, am also pretty happy to the market. So anyway, 37, what's going on? Craig's here as well. Foz here. Beebs is here. Welcome. Curtis, good to see you, man. Tomato P, RPM, Brandon Harris. Good to see you, Brandon. Really rich. What's going on? It just says moon. Swamp, good to see you, buddy. Ryan Smith says final push out before the pump. Maybe. I mean, everyone kind of goes to that. We need to keep an eye on what earnings are going to come in. I think we've got Microsoft and Apple earnings to come in. We'll see what they do. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Robert Dover's here. Jesse's here. Ben Loam, it's been a minute. Good to see you, buddy. Chris Bendix. Craig is here. Diamond Nuts in the building. And then welcome to everybody tuning on TikTok as well. As always, we appreciate you. I already see some of you guys smashing the screen to pieces. Welcome. Bay Harbor's here. Mix is here. Shout out to you. Shout out to Les or Les. Les. Yeah, I'm just going to say Les. That's easy. I was going to try and pronounce your entire name, but it seems to be moving a bit quick. So anyway, welcome to you as well. So as always, let's get into a little bit as to what the hell is happening. Look at this. What is this? This is not how it's meant to be, everybody. And in the last hour, I mean, look at this. This is just an absolute shambles, isn't it? Kind of going same way we went yesterday. Now, if you are savvy enough and you understand the markets enough, then you know that the dumperino basically started at, you guessed it, when the US markets opened again. Now, this then allows us to narrow our search. So, for example, yesterday, here was the US market open. We got that initial rally where everyone thought, hey, we're going to get rate cuts. And then, boom, we saw the big dumperino all the way back down to 116. Exactly the same happened today. They came in here, look, this is market open, this massive candle into the red. We saw a little bit of a move back up when we got that Paul Atkins news. The SEC finally starting to go a little bit, you know, a little bit bullish, which is kind of good news. And then we've seen this massive dump again. So we'll sort of try and understand what the heck is going on. Chris says, what are they manipulating for? Prepping the markets for something? Well, what's interesting, and we'll sort of get into this in a little bit more detail, is that this market has dumped. And I've been tracking, I'm just going to jump ahead. I've been tracking this all day. So I've been tracking ETF purchasing all day, right? I want to know what they're doing. I want to know what they're buying. I want to know when they're buying. And there is some pretty interesting things going on when it comes to ETF purchasing. So for example, BlackRock at market open bought 295 Bitcoin, right? So the market opened, they bought 295 Bitcoin. Well, that tells me that, and they haven't bought anything else, right? They bought it in the minute it opened. So there's definitely something going on. I'm not sure what yet. And again, we'll sort of try and break down just a little bit more detail tonight, maybe get into a bit of nuances to kind of what's happening. But it feels very deliberate. This whole US market dumperino. I mean, maybe the markets don't like the fact that you've got Jerome Powell feeling like he can do what he wants. Maybe the market's finally kind of going, oh, no, September rate cut's probably not great. Trump's obviously going after him in a pretty big way. You know, uncertainty doesn't create a lot of good news in the markets. Unfortunately, I think that's maybe where we've seen a little bit. There's a couple of other things to note as well, which we'll sort of see and we'll unwind as we sort of go over the course of tonight's live stream. So, as always, make sure you dialed in because we've got a lot of alpha for you. What you saw as well, by the way, though, is you saw bleed out some altcoins as well. So, actually, things like Ethereum that were actually sitting pretty, by the way, market open this morning. The Asian market's pumping Bitcoin once again, nearly retested 3,900 on ETH. Very good breakout from this support here that we talked about yesterday. Again, sorry, I probably should just do this so you guys can see TikTok. It'd just be easy, wouldn't it? So you can see here from ETH breaking out from this support. What we can say, though, is this support now did not do us any favors when it came to going back the other way. So we know that this is a pretty strong resistance line. However, from a support's perspective, we saw this move. So this is kind of Asian hype last night as the Asian markets opened. And then obviously this is pretty much all that's happened since that kind of early start in the morning. So a little bit in the kind of European markets, but very much down. And it pretty much follows the same party. We've seen a pretty heavy sellout across the markets. And there's a couple of reasons I think as to exactly why that is. Like I said, we're going to sort of talk about that. But any altcoin, no matter what you do, they all follow a very similar pattern. We had a good overnight move when everyone settled down and understood what the Fed really was all about. And then we've sort of just seemed to have dumped all day long. And, you know, really a lot of coins, even Zebek, by the way, was flying. I mean, I looked at this and I was thinking, oh, maybe I should if I was in this play, as an example, maybe I should take some profits out of it. But I didn't. And I was like, I mean, someone didn't, not me. And it's kind of done that. Same with a lot of other altcoins. You got a couple of moves with Aethia, a little bit of a move. Ondo finally, HBAR. And then memes getting absolutely, you know, just demolished today. Bonk now down to 2.7, which we said it might actually come down and retest that. If you remember, we talked about this yesterday, that I said it might hit these two levels. This is kind of the next range on Bonk that we're looking for. Maybe it drops a little bit lower here to the 2.3s. Could happen. Pepe down. Many others. The only one that's showing some signs of strength in a meme coin sector, by the way, is Pump Fund. We'll talk about that later and what they're doing. But certainly when you take the broad market perspective, the total capitalization of the market is coming down. And I actually think, it pains me to say this, I think it's if we lose this where we are now, so we're probably in an okay place, right? We're probably in an okay place, which is around here. This is kind of been major support for us on a number of things, but very critical. If we were to lose this major support, you are looking at possibly a retest maybe of 3.7 trillion, which probably brings Bitcoin down to what? Maybe 110, 111 as a push down. And what we do know is Bitcoin dominance is continuing to fall. Well, what this means is that Bitcoin's actually been sold off more aggressively than the altcoin market, which is kind of interesting. And yet again, we are seeing USDC dominance, USDT dominance. So people are buying into stablecoin. Now, you could look at this in one of two ways. You could look at this in the fact that they are buying in to be prepared for a market dump, or they are converting their play back into stablecoin, which again is a possibility as we kind of walk through that. We'll take a look at some charts, which may give us a slightly better indication as to where all this sits. So yeah, what's going on, Tim? Good to see a Mouse here as well. Anthony says, huge fear factor with the Powell news. People speculating results of the currently ongoing this minute closed door. Yeah, I heard that. I don't necessarily think the SEC is not the FOMC, is it? So it's a bit like, well, if they are having a closed door thing, I don't necessarily think it's going to be anything to do with interest rates or anything else, but we'll see. We'll see. What to buy now, bro? Nick, I would just sit tight. So I can only ever tell you what I'm doing, by the way. I have some capital ready to deploy yet again in these markets. Like, take the opportunity if it's a given to you. That's my motto. So I've got some capital, I've got some stable coin, and I'm just going to sit. This key level we are at now, 116.9, is the lower end of this range that Bitcoin's been ranging across now since we broke into this on the 11th of July. Which, if you're thinking about it, it's the whole month of July. It's still a positive month, by the way, but my view is now I'm going to watch for what happens, and then I'm going to look for any positions that I feel like I should have a better position in. So, for example, something like Pepe, I think I would be beneficial of getting into that. I've been looking for a place in Bonk, which I think would be good because I'm underwater a little bit on the Pepe trade just from when I got in, not necessarily overall, but just from when I got in. And I've been looking for a bonk position for a while. So maybe we get the opportunity. But what we don't want to see is Bitcoin lose this range. If Bitcoin loses this range now, then, you know, we might be heading down here somewhere. We might be, you know, we might absolutely be starting to retest a lower range, which would have been around 116 flat. Maybe we lose that and go a little bit lower. So, you know, we don't want to be too bearish, but, you know, we have to be mindful, don't we? And positioned, I think, is worthwhile. But yeah, Aiden, what's going on? Nick says, all crypto's a scam. Yeah, it feels like it today. It feels like it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. Bring your questions. Come in and take a seat as we sort of digest this market and try and understand what the heck is going on. So we will see what happens with this. Now, I just want to make something super clear. And again, I want to sort of bring this attention to you guys on TikTok. Old people falling over is never funny. It's like watching the market slightly descend. And again, no one likes to see red candles and no one likes to see markets going down. But what we don't want to see here is Elizabeth Warren falling over on the Senate floor. We don't want to see this. This is not what we want to see. And I'm sure you'll all join me in hoping that she is okay. But, you know, I just want to reference that. It's never a good thing seeing someone that's so anti-innovation about cryptocurrency, so hell-bent on destroying decentralized finance, and more importantly, just so hell-bent on really not being doing anything good in terms of a developing market for cryptocurrency innovation. We shouldn't at all take pleasure in watching her fall over. I just want to come out publicly and say that, all right? So I assume you will all do what I do, which is take that and in a pinch of salt and be like, oh, man, I'm sad for Elizabeth Warren. But again, it's important to think about. Right, okay. Get out of here. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I felt sorry for the table. Yeah, the table did. I'm waiting for September, October for long, slow, parabolic alt season. Yeah, well, I'm hoping we're going to get this move in August. I thought July was going to definitely give us a bit more bullish movement, but yeah. The only thing as well to think about here is obviously yesterday from that big wick down on the Fed meeting, then we saw that massive rally post the sort of live stream last night. You know, maybe that's a little bit of profit taking that we saw people getting at the bottom. Short-term holders right now are the weakest, most paper-handed people you've ever seen in your entire life. Like, they couldn't care less about what's going on in this market. They're not here for a long time. They're here for a good time. And the good time can last 24 hours in some cases. Man, it can last 12 hours. Depends who you are. So I think we're definitely seeing short-term holders just exit positions and, you know, wherever they can. I think that's definitely a thing. So anyway, let's talk about what's going on. A couple of little things I thought was worthwhile. And when we talk about what's happening in the markets, it's always worthwhile just seeing where the macro sits, isn't it? And we've talked about this a number of times here on the channel. Where does the macro sit? What's important when we're starting to understand how and when this market truly is going to move? If you go back to 2021, you go back to 2017, what was driving the market? What was the sentiment? It was very much like crypto's the next gold rush. Buy it. It's going to be fine. It's a bit more strategic, this one. A bit more deliberate. You got to understand there's people with capital that are coming into this market that have got more money than you could even think about. And then when you start getting into some of the things going on under the hood, you know, we always talk about peel the onion skin back. Just look at the number of banks that are already into adopting cryptocurrency and, more importantly, what they're actually looking to do. Ponke, what's going on, pal? Welcome to you. It's Joey. Good to see you as well. Welcome in. So what you can see here is you've got crypto trading and custody, private crypto funds, ETPs, crypto-enabled payments, and tokenization. Just look at the list of these as of June 30th, 2025. Now, since then, we've got a couple more that have gone in, but you know, look at this list in terms of crypto trading and custody by the side of Citibank, MasterCard, Morgan Stanley, Visa, and Wells Fargo. They're the only ones that are simply not going to get into this market, which is kind of crazy when you think about it all. And then equally, when you start looking at crypto ETPs, which is the European variant of an ETF, basically, you've only got a few that aren't going to do that as well, which tells us there is huge capital that are looking to take positions within this market. And this is why I think we see this kind of crazy moves around that we've got. The market dumps. Maybe someone announces tomorrow that they're getting in. We saw crazy amounts of Ethereum being purchased over the last 24 hours again, which is kind of interesting as well. So, Paul, man, what's going on? Good to see you. Selma's here. How many onions do you peel? Man, I peel like 2 onions a day. Like, I'm literally like a crazy onion peeler, man. 2 a day as I try and get to the truth. You can handle the truth. Well, trust me, I can. So, again, this is worthwhile noting. Right, look at this. BTC comparison of demand and supply between new and old investors tells us a story. I'm just going to put this over so you can see it TikTok as well. So, bullish, we're seeing the rising of BTC demand from new investors. This is an important one. This is obviously you know, when we sort of get into a little bit more bullish momentum. Sorry, TikTok, I just moved you a little bit where I didn't want you to be. So again, what we see here is that they are looking to get in positions. These are when we've got new people coming in versus old wallets. You want to see that. That's how prices move up. New people come in, they buy a floor, and they hold it down. Dominance currently around 30%, far from the 60 to 70 euphoria zone where everyone's returning to the market. The signal cycle tops of the past. Translation, the bull market has fuel left in the tank. So again, this is important to understand. New people to the market is what significantly drives price and, more importantly, drives adoption. And that's kind of what we want to see. And we're not there yet. We're not yet there. Lots to think about. Lots to think about. Man, this isn't a good sign, isn't it? Just timed out. Okay, cheers for that. So the other thing I want to touch on, sorry, TikTok, I keep moving you one way or the other. So here you got a couple of other things as well, which might just give us a bit of an indication as to exactly what's been going on in the markets. So what you've got here is the Bitcoin net unrealized profit. At which point, by the way, this is up to date, and it's based on the last month, which basically tells you where people holding Bitcoin, what are their values. Anything basically above the 0.5 range generally tells us that people are in profit. Anything below that is people aren't. So what we can see here is that there is a vast majority, if not pretty much most in the markets, are in profit. Okay, so everyone that's holding it takes the total number of wallets that people have, and it understands when they bought it versus when they got, or when they transferred this wallet. A lot of it's taken from exchange data, by the way. But what we can see here is, like I said, there is a absolute reality here that so much crypto is still on the side. People are holding it down, but occasionally people are going to sell. We've seen about $9 billion worth of outflows over the course of July. Obviously, that doesn't include the 80,000 Bitcoin that we sold. That is on top of that. So you could argue in the month of July, $18 billion have exited the market. You've also got here the spent output portfolio ratio, which is, by the way, generally above 1 is seen as having profit. Below 1 is seen as not. So again, what we can see here is that the vast number of wallets that are holding cryptocurrency are in a profit. So if so many wallets are in profit, the reality is you are always going to see some selling off. And that is where I've sort of got to. I think there has just been some selling off in the market, some redistribution of capital. We've seen more OTC deals than we've ever seen before. We've seen more big companies buying more Bitcoin than we've ever seen before. We've 100% seen a rotation of capital into things like Ethereum. We've seen it rotate into things like Solana. And you're actually seeing a little bit more in terms of altcoins, which I think is important to reference. So these are key things to note as we sort of walk through some of these key moments in time when it comes to this kind of market. So that's where I get to a little bit, is that you could kind of try and dissect this market into the 9th degree and go, well, it's because of this, it's because of that, and the market's overcooked. And, you know, you look at things like RSI, which is trending down, MACD's trending down. So you'd argue a little bit bearish in the market here on the daily. On the weekly, what do we still look like? Weekly candle, I think, still looks relatively confident. What is important to reference here, though, by the way, and a couple of other things, if my computer doesn't decide to completely break, which is not what we need. Come on, TradingView, sort your life out. Sort your life out. Mike, what's realistic top when Altcoins and pumps? Will it be 5 trillion? I think it'll be more than that. I think it'll be more. People think about 8 to 10 trillion. So, I mean, Bitcoin alone could be 5 trillion. Bitcoin alone could do 5 trillion. So again, what you can see here is that if you take it as a macro sentiment for the weekly, it's fine. It's a consolidation range looking for that next breakout. Now, it depends on how you look at it. If you go to the 3-day chart, you start to print a very interesting picture. Let me just show you guys on TikTok as well. By the way, don't forget, keep smashing that screen. Keep getting super crazy bullish on what's going on. So what you've got here is a very obvious, I mean, that is the worst start of a line I've ever done in my entire life. But anyway, so what you've got here is, and by the way, that was way overcooked, that move there. But this is kind of where you start to get this very interesting descending wedge pattern. What happens in a descending wedge pattern? You generally see this, don't you, as it kind of comes down. And then at some point, it's either going to break to the upside if you take the W pattern, or it's going to come and retest the downside. Well, the reality is, and yes, I have basically said that it can either go up or it can go down. Even when you put this in the daily, by the way, and we've seen this before, people. We have seen this before. There's the wick there, look. And you'd argue that it's there. Pretty much, yeah, perfect. That's perfect. So we've seen this before. We see it move up, and we see this kind of range. Now, what you want to see is less volatility at the minute, and this range starting to net. If we were to apply the same logic before we had this breakout here. And it's important, by the way, you can absolutely see where this came in. You can 100% see pretty much where this move came in. And what do you get? Outside of, you know, big variable ranges that happened, what did you get? Well, we got the move into the range. We got the tightening of the range, followed by then the breakout. And that is exactly, in my opinion, what we could be seeing. So then this is a tighter range. Well, tighter ranges tend to take a little bit longer, followed by then the break to the upside. What we want to see is continuation of markets, you know, positive buys coming in. And you can go back again to the previous move. So again, we got the previous move here, which was back here in March. And again, you take sort of the high that we came in. This was a little bit more aggressive that came in. But look, it pretty much follows a very similar pattern as it goes through. We came on a downtrend. Sorry, I missed that total. We came on a downtrend. Here's the wick though, where I can actually get this right. And then back up to retest. Then we sort of coil up, followed by the breakout to the upside. And again, you got the triple bottom, which we see so many times. You got 1, 2, 3, followed by the breakout. And then hopefully we'll see something similar. So, you know, I think I sort of talked about this over the course of the last maybe week or so, that I just think right now, consolidation isn't necessarily a bad thing on the 3-day. The weekly looks fine. The 2 monthly is boring as hell. And the daily, look, this is a decent consolidation range where we don't need to panic super crazy, in my humble opinion. What's going on TikTok? In my humble opinion. Again, I could be wrong, but I don't think I'm not normally wrong. And I don't think we're necessarily not normally wrong either. So that's kind of where I get to with it. What does it mean? Should we panic? No. I think we're very much just in this range that we've been in for a while. And I think at the minute, you know, people don't want this market to move too crazy. There's still a few bits to work out. You know, there's still a bit in the old Trumperino bit to work out. But I think macro stuff, when you start to break down some of these key reports and key pictures we've seen, particularly around, you know, some of this. And the other one that I want to just show you really, really quickly is this. What am I looking at? This one here. And we've looked at this a number of times before, actually. And this is an important one to keep an eye on. This is the long-term holder. Again, what you can see here is that very much stable. So where we see price rising or we see price volatility coming in, this market is still holding up exactly where it's been. You see no flinching when it comes to sort of top end, higher end, you know, higher end positions, if that makes sense. And then look, if anyone is interested in terms of just liquidations, which tells me that this is just a normal standard range we've got in the market, liquidations are pretty flat over the course of that. You can see a broader picture when we look at some of those other metrics. So I guess in summary, after that about 11-minute rant, Bitcoin's just a bit boring at the minute. It's a bit boring at the minute. We could probably adjust this range slightly. I mean, we probably needs to be a little bit higher, actually, doesn't it? If we're dead honest. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. The range is actually a little bit higher. I forgot that Fed was the wick yesterday. I think what's important to understand, though, is exactly what's going on over here, which is something I talked about right at the very start of the show, which is why do BlackRock buy at market open and then nothing really happens? And when are they buying it? Because that means they must already have the capital and they must be positioned to take that Bitcoin trade. Now, I'm going to find it. My commitment to you guys might take me a little bit of time, but I'm going to find the secret to BlackRock when they're buying, and then we're going to watch it. We got about 400 to play with. If that breaks, what, 104K? Yeah, Ondo getting the shout out yesterday from the White House Crypto Report. Patrick Henry, the vice chairman. A crypto report, I haven't read it all yet, but it's pretty crazy. How do you think Bonk's going to turn out on the end of this run? Good. James, that's my opinion. Rev share, there is a reason why the way pump funds turn, not rev share, but why pump funds turned a burn mechanism on. It's up 40% in like 2 days. So yeah, that's my opinion. John Shaw, I think I said hello, but what's going on, buddy? Welcome to you. Cheese in the building. Tiberio says, hey, Tiberio, what's a great time to buy? And it is indeed. It is indeed. Realize your gains. Don't round trip, not financial advice. Beeves, very clever. Very smart, actually. Very smart. Don't forget TikTok. You feel free to drop some questions in here. One time, what's going on with the new logo? I like it. August will be an explosive month. I hope so. I've been on some projects since the bear market. Man, that's crazy. That is crazy. So yeah, if you are enjoying the content, by the way, just, you know, do me a little favor, tap the screen, lock in a couple of likes. It's all that good stuff. Do you know what I mean? All massively helps out. And, you know, we want to make sure that people are educated in this market. We want to know that people know what they're doing. So again, just on these ETFs, it is important to think about where this capital rotation is. You can see kind of where some of this is going. And more importantly, this new like jazzy thing they've got. Obviously, IBIT buying huge amounts of Bitcoin, as you would expect. And then you see here, the total value. So we actually got a solid day yesterday, albeit it's a bit quiet in ETF land. That's just the honest answer. 40 million yesterday, 80 million. It'd be a little bit more today. Nothing too crazy, but is a little bit quiet in old ETF land. So we'll see. 36 more people have to like the stream. Let's go, baby. Let's do it. Aiden, thanks so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Lauren says you can panic buy. Ooh, panic. Panic. Right. So good. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. That gives us a little bit of a quick overview of the market. Let's talk a little bit about just some dead quick bits of news. And then, yeah, let's see. Although we might just have a bit of breaking news coming in right now. Tomato Pete, you know you love this breaking news. Breaking news. I need to have a thing, don't I? That's like breaking news. Michael Saylor's strategy files 4.2 billion offering to buy more Bitcoin. Holy shit. Michael Saylor doesn't care. He's like, what the hell? This is a dip. Like, man, I need to double down and buy more Bitcoin. Man, Bitcoin is tanking its ass off right now. Holy shit, it's down 1.15%. What a weird day. Look at this. Like, this is like super crazy. Like, we're back to Fed dump levels. Anyway, don't get emotional in the market. It's important. You'll get wrecked. But yeah, that's super interesting. Where can you actually buy into this? How do I send Michael Saylor some money? Anyone know? How do I do it? I think we should. I think we should do it. Right, here we go. Look. That is not what I thought. That is not what I thought at all. Investor relations. Maybe is that where I need to be at? Do I need to be at investor relations with strategy? Submit an investor survey form. Ew. How do I get? I just want to know how getting on this offering that they're doing. Anyway, press releases. Strategy announces second quarter fiscal. Look at this. These are pretty crazy as well. Send it to me and I'll give it to him. Thanks. Q2 earnings call: 14 billion operating income, 10 billion net income, 32.60 diluted earnings. Wow. Feels like a pretty BTC yield of 19.7 Q2 and 25% year to date. Holy crap, that's pretty strong. Albeit declining yield, but still pretty strong, actually, if you think about it. Yeah, man. Saylor is going big, and he is bullish. Right, let's talk about some news that could dead quick. Keep you guys posted. So, Pump saws 24% of the buyback frenzy. Again, they are putting the kind of bonk fund model to the work. Pump trades below an ICO price of 3.6 billion, which we know about. But Pump fund, widely known as Solana-based meme coin, albeit Jupiter launch, actually, their new protocol, I can't remember what it's called now, it's something beginning with H, I believe, actually outpaced Pump fund today. Super interesting, eh? Super interesting. But yeah, Pump fund basically turning on a burn mechanism. And this probably steps a little bit nearer to potentially a rev share accumulation, or, you know, something where holders are going to get a proportion of what is launched over there, which, by the way, would be absolutely freaking insane if they did that. Look at Bitcoin on the 1 minute. It's moving. Oh, yeah, it is a little bit, yeah. That looks like it's had a decent wake up. 1168. We'll see. Yeah, it feels like it's got a little bit. Oh, I didn't mean to go. So, yeah, anyway. SEP still looks solid, but for the bulls now push higher over the neckline. So again, watch out. Pump fund trying to make some sort of move, trying to do a little bit of a breakout. Important to keep dialed in on that one. I think that could be an interesting one, particularly if one of them does rev share, the other one will do it. So Uniswap, Pump fund, Bonk fund, whatever it's going to be, Jupe might do it. You know, I think that'll be very interesting as it sort of plays out. So keep posted that. Right, the SEC today launched Project Crypto. I mean, you couldn't ask for more crazy news other than the Fed reducing rates. But yeah, basically the SEC announcing to make the US the crypto capital of the world. They're going to be launching a big push to make clear guidelines for investing in digital assets, of all of those sort of things, which I think is going to be important as well. What's going on, Gonzalo? Good to see you, buddy. So I think that's important. Project Crypto seeks to establish clear rules for crypto asset and distributions, which I think is kind of important as well. So, Gonzalo, are you free straight after this live stream for about 5, maybe 10 minutes? I want to talk about something on Telegram. Let me know if you can. Literally, I'm going to finish the stream, make sure everything's turned off, and I'll call you on Telegram. I just want to talk to you about something. If you're free, that'd be cool, mate. So just be ready after the stream, please. That'd be awesome. And it's nothing serious, by the way. I mean, it kind of is serious, but nothing, like, no bad serious. I just want to talk to you about something and get your opinion on something. But yeah, look at this. Atkins directed a commission staff to draft regulations addressing confusion regarding the Howey test. Basically, what we could get on the back of this would be the unlocking of things like staking, the unlocking of things like of certain advantages that digital assets can offer versus a traditional ETF or something like that, which I think will be good news, by the way. So yeah, I think this could be good, and it could be worthwhile keeping an eye on it, as as it could be pretty bullish indeed. Sorry, Tim, I'm just turning all those off now. I forgot to do it yesterday, so I think they are now. I think it's all turned off now, so it shouldn't come up anymore. And I will change them. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. I think the SEC finally starting to come good, and certainly starting to get a bit more pro innovation, pro cryptocurrency. All, by the way, I think pushed a little bit by the Trump administration. So, keep your eye on it. Now, one thing that I've been talking about here on the channel, and, forget the price of BTC right now. It's, continuing its onslaught down for some reason. But anyway, Ethereum holding up relatively well in this market dump. And I've been talking about Ethereum for a while and why I think Ethereum's going to be super crazy. Well, guess what? And I want somebody to give me a view here. FTX now staking $79 million worth of Ethereum, with whales are buying and BlackRock's ETH keeps growing. How are FTX staking $79 million worth of Ethereum when they haven't paid out to all those investors that still need their money? How is that possible? Can anyone just tell me what that is? On-chain data tracked by Blockchain shows that FTX and Alameda Research have staked 20,736 ETH, valued around $79 million. Within the past few hours, the move follows previous withdrawal of 21,000 from the crypto exchange Bybit. The withdrawal carried out between December 17th and January 25th, totaling 75.3 million. How are they doing that? How can FTX possibly be staking Ethereum? Like, what? Am I, has the world gone mad? Is someone smoking something that I shouldn't be? I mean, something's happening. Kind of crazy. Think about, we've got some more breaking news, by the way. More breaking news right now coming straight in. US Coinbase to launch tokenized stocks and prediction markets for US users, expanding to an all-in-one on-chain experience. Holy shit, Coinbase is going super crazy right now. Aiden says should be allowed. Yeah, I don't think it should be allowed. They should, if they haven't paid every single person that lost money on the FTX collapse, they should not be allowed to stake Ethereum. Like, it's crazy. Go ahead one time, shout it out, and I'll try and answer it. So yeah, this is kind of pretty crazy if you ask me. I don't really understand it, and I don't get it. Who they're using to tokenize, I don't know. We'll get a little bit more details on the back of it. But yeah, I imagine they're just going to be doing it there, but could be crazy. What about Sol? They're not staking Solana right now, but yeah, I mean, Sol looked pretty solid on the chart. I stake Solana, by the way. I have Sol staked, and it turns out pretty good for me. It's actually earning me nearly $10 a day right now in Solana. So yeah, I'm feeling the Solana stake, by the way. It's pretty good. Pretty good. But yeah, you got to have like, I'm not flexing it, by the way, because I don't have a massive bag of Solana, but you got to have a bit to make a decent return. But yeah, if I were to stake, like say 10K, is the weekly payout a good reward? Well, you got to stake. What's the, I can't remember. How do you, it's like 5% or something, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So on the 2.89 is what you're going to get. Now, if you became a validator, which is 32 Ethereum, by the way, which is going to cost you in excess of like, what, 100 grand or whatever it is. But let's break down a couple of these staking platforms to give you an idea of what they look like. So you're averaging anywhere between about 2.5 to maybe 3%. EtherFi is probably the best one at 3.06. Lido Finance at 2.71. Yield Nest. And you got to be careful, by the way, because some of these decentralized lending platforms will, you know, they are a DeFi platform, so you could potentially lose it if they were to ever go kind of wrong. But if you basically had 10K on a, let's say 2.68, it's going to give you about $5 a week. So the answer is probably not. You could get better returns. Man, you get better returns just with USDC. Obviously, this is, but you would be better off with Solana. So think about this. Ethereum is going to give you about $5. Solana, however, and it's super easy to do it, and it's super quick, is nearly 8%, by the way. 7.69, I think I get. Which yeah, is way better. If you did 10 grand in there, for example, you're going to be getting nearly $15 a week. So yeah, wish the UK government was more crypto friendly. Yeah, true. So do I. Breaking Brexit news. So do I. I think maybe they might see sense, but maybe not at the moment. Maybe not at the moment. You know, do you know the real thing is? I don't actually necessarily think the UK government is indifferent to cryptocurrency. I don't necessarily think they care. The problem they've got is they are in a shit show in terms of government spending and where they need to spend money. So at the minute, they're trying to just pull money from everywhere. Pensioners, building on, railway sites, taxing the crypto markets. Like, yeah, that's the problem. We are spending way too much money on stuff we shouldn't be spending money on. That's the problem. So they can talk about 22 billion black hole. They spent it on doctors. They spent it on nurses. They spent it on all of that, which, by the way, I agree with. But you can't just spend without cutting, and you can't cut by going and taxing your way out of it. That's where the UK have got it wrong. So they should be more pro cryptocurrency. And if they only truly understood what was there, I think they would. But Rachel Reeves is a bit thick. $50 a week, maybe not a great idea. I think it would be, yeah, it's probably a higher risk than you need to take, really. If you're in the bear market, my view, by the way, was the reason I started staking. The reason I started staking that was because I was like, well, that's a way better one. Now, Aerodrome Finance, by the way, interestingly offers about 11%, which is where I have mine. And 11% would be, 11% would be a decent return, wouldn't it? If you're honest. But yeah, that's where I get to. That's where I get to. $50 a week, yeah. Like I said, it's not great. It's not great in the world. Polkadot gives a good staking yield, but I haven't jumped in it yet. But isn't Polkadot just terrible in terms of price and basically not doing anything? What are you doing? A bear for profit and crypto income? A trade meme coins? No, I don't. You sit in stablecoin and take 5% on USDC. That's what I do. Yeah, I mean, look, there's loads of opportunities in the bear market. The reality is that you just got to pick your battles and you got to pick the ones that work. I've just had things like Solana stake. Don't forget, bear markets give you an opportunity to get in. And for me, then it was all about, you forget dollar equivalent values, and all you're looking at is accumulation of volume. That's all you're looking at. It's like, how do I get the most amount of the coin that I can? So my view was, buy loads of Solana at $8, stake it, so that as the market moves up, not only do I get the value of Solana increasing, I get the benefit of staking it as well. So yeah. Let's look at this. Composite index of age-based cohorts shows that most new Bitcoin holders remain in profit. It's what we were talking about at the start of the show. With the index trending towards a +1, market momentum remains broadly constructive. So again, most people that have got into the market recently, you could argue some of these big tech companies that have decided to start buying Bitcoin. You could argue some of those ETFs, albeit we are still seeing positive inflows in ETFs. What we do know is that most people are in profit, which can be a good thing, but it does mean this is where you get the sell-offs where people just dump their Bitcoin, and that's kind of where we get it. I was in gold for years, but I've moved all into Bitcoin. Nice. Yeah, I was in stocks. I think I've said this before. I was in stocks for a long time, and I'm not now. I'm all in on crypto. I'm not massively in on Bitcoin. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not a big Bitcoin kind of guy. I'm very much altcoins. So yeah, I strategically bought Ondo just before the 6% dip. I mean, that is the best way, I think, normally, John. I'm good at that. That's why I don't. That's why I tend to not buy coins anymore and talk about them, because they tend to dip the minute I talk about them. But anyway. So this gives a bit of an indication, like I said, on that as well. So in my view, lots of macro stuff to think about, lots of positives in the market. Yes, we're going to see volatility. Yes, it's going to be a little bit painful. I mean, if you want, we can go on. I mean, we're on the hourly charts. I mean, it's going to be pretty annoying, but bear with me. Bear with me, and let's take a trip, everybody, back to 2021. And what life was like in the 2021 super crazy overhyped bull market. Is there a way you can search on TradingView? Does anyone know? Anyone know if I can search on TradingView? Does it not even go back past what the hell's going on? Okay, fine. Well, let me go back in terms of an hour. That's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Anyway. Yeah, well, let me go back. Okay, I was going to go back into 2021 and sort of try and have a look at what the markets were doing in 2021, but yeah, we can't. But again, these are absolutely traditional ways that the market moves, and yeah, just life, innit? As people take some profits, which again you should be doing. Like, it's a sensible strategy. It is obviously just a bit disappointing though for many people, but hey. It is. I make 50-60 a week on Polkadot, but that's with a 30k investment. Wow, Aaron, that's a lot. That is a lot. I still hold a few stocks, but fixed and switched to stuff like Fed Reserve coins. Well, Treasuries could be a good one. They're 4.5% on the 10 years, an example. On Bubble Map, you can look at 2021. Oh, really? A Bubble Map? Well, I can look at the price. on an hourly basis on Bubble Map, really? Not true. Zach, what's going on, buddy? Speak for yourself, bro. I made a boatload on GRT in 2022. Nice. Look, I said that. You could trade meme coins or you can trade altcoins in bear markets. Like, stuff still moves in bear markets. 100%. Look at Pepe. Pepe launched in a freaking bear market. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've still got a massive opportunity. Right, I'm on bubble maps, but I don't see how I can look at charts. I mean, this doesn't feel like a thing I can look at. Supported chains. I don't know if this is what I want. Yeah, but you love value every month on DOT, especially over the years. I mean, that's true. We're looking good in crypto. Nadar. What's going on? We're still looking good. I mean, you know, maybe an indifferent view tonight. Maybe crypto bubbles. Right. Yeah. You can't see a chart on there, though, can you? You can just see the weird bubble things, right? Doesn't it pull the charts from... I think pull the charts from, like, CoinMarketCap or something. I think it's an option. Oh, okay. I'm on it now. I don't see it. Currency, language, color, stablecoin, watch list. It's not that. Month, year, hour. Don't know. I don't know, but the thing is, I never really, because all this, I never really get anything up that I want to look at. Anyway, there you go. Look, there's the old crypto bubbles. Which is, this is on the month, by the way. So on the daily, look at this. Oh. Any advice for beginners? Yes. My advice for beginners is make sure that you are watching great content creators or tuning into live streams that will answer your questions honestly and with an objective perspective, rather than going to like hype groups, shill groups. Do not pay for any kind of community involvement because it's a scam. Just, you know, just get into some of those good projects with good communities, etc., and you'll be absolutely fine. Beast Seller's in the building. Tell me you bought Beast Seller. I cannot tell you that, unfortunately, but we can take a look at it and see what's going on. But yeah, that's my opinion. I think crypto bubbles, you can see the prices. But yeah, that's my view in terms of a beginner. Everyone at one point started somewhere. And, you know, no one ever comes in this game and no one ever comes in this market knowing absolutely everything, whether you've been in stocks, forexes, whatever it is for, you know, 50 years and you walk into this market. Crypto is like a totally different market. So important to think about and how that plays through. Where are you guys at? 248k market cap right now. Doing 22k in volume. Yeah, I mean, you've had a nice little uptrend over the course of the last couple of days. Is that when you were last in my TikTok live? Volume 22k. It's not bad. Not bad. If we go up, we say we are beast mode. I like it. I like your style. I like your style. I like the little character as well. He's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Go on trading view on a Bitcoin chart and say at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, I did do that, but I couldn't see it by the hour. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Fine. Did Binance list Brett? I'm surprised Coinbase didn't list it. Yeah, I thought, yeah, Binance, I believe, did list Brett today, right? I think. I believe they did. Yeah, Binance.com futures, and it looks like, yeah, spot as well. So yeah, it did look like Brett, this coin is, it's not listed on Binance. Brett price today, USD. Oh, did they not list it? Man, I don't know. Binance UK. Is this now a thing? Like, what the hell? Trade spot exchange. Let's have a look. Let's see. Let me see. Binance. Give me the option. Brett. No, doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Not hourly. Yeah, that's kind of what I was looking at. Just see kind of the thing that happened in the bear market. But yeah, so it doesn't look. I definitely thought I'd seen something. Maybe not. Maybe not. Our deposits for Brett on. Oh, it's Binance US. That's what it is. It's Binance US. It's not like, yeah, not the big Binance. Bits Blaze, what's going on, pal? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. 420, what's going on, buddy? Did Binance? Yeah, so Binance US did. Binance US did. Isn't Binance supposed to list Flare, or have they already? I do not know. Do not know. But yeah, so Brett officially is on Binance US and on Bitfunded. So there you go. If you weren't bullish enough, then you should be. Then you should be. Isn't Binance supposed to? Oh, I said that, didn't I? Grab your feet. Easy. Share. What? Anyway. Right, let's keep an eye on what's going on in this market. This market's turned to max paid right now. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, man, XRP at 305. Casper absolutely falling through the floor. What else have you got over here? 2.5 on Jasmine, now down to the 15s. Like, okay, now, like, get a grip, crypto market. Like, what the? I'm not normally like a pessimist or an anti-bull, by the way, but Jesus Christ, just needs to sort his life out. And that bonk opportunity, though, looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. Not going to lie. Bonk might be an opportunity. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Right, so let me close crypto bubbles down. We don't need that. We don't need that. We might keep that up, and that we also don't need to close that down as well. Right, good. If you got any questions, thoughts, views, opinions, anything else, let me know. We'll try and answer them the best we can. What's your thoughts on 𝗲𝗲𝗍𝗂? I have zero thoughts on it because I have no idea what it is. Like, literally no idea what it is. So I apologize. Let me bring Dex tools up, and also let me bring CoinMarketCap up just in case we need to have a look at it. Is Bonk or Bonk is done for? I don't think so. I think Bonk's still got a definite opportunity. The fact that they've got that thriving ecosystem, which is outperforming most of the others, I think is pretty good news. It has a reason to exist, which is more than some meme coins. When there's blood in the streets, that's what you buy. I mean, that's true, Robert. That's what we always talk about. When the market feels fearful, you should be greedy. Always hard, though. Always hard. 𝗲𝗲𝗍𝗂. Let me have a look. I'll see if it comes up. I'm not spending an hour looking for it, because I've never heard of it. Lever Protocol, yeah? $1.7 million market cap. Christina Mayers, what's going on? Up 6%. I mean, it's up today, by the way. It's up today. All-time highs, though. It is pretty much down from when it was up there. High was 202 by the looks of it. And, yeah, it looks like right now it's a little bit below that. It doesn't feel like it's been out very long, so. Yeah, crack on buying Bonk if it hits 25. Well, you might get a chance. I feel like you might get a chance on that. I mean, look, what's it at now? 27. What was that other price target at? 23. So I think it might go even lower than what you think. Yeah, we'll see. The altcoin market needs a bit of a respite, and it doesn't feel like it's coming anytime soon, in my opinion. It's a new coin on DeFi. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Bonk coming back. Yeah, looks like it. I mean, Bitcoin really isn't. It's just wild that this massive dump in the market, but such is life. Such is life. Jake, thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. We'll see what happens with these. I feel like it's definitely linked to this. Definitely. The fact that we see that, you know, market open, markets tank. We haven't seen really a lot of anti-selling. Still seeing very much, you know, I guess bullish views when they come in terms of buying. And actually, from a revenue perspective, back into those companies. So, for example, BlackRock, you know, Fidelity, actually, they're doing pretty well. I mean, 4,000 Bitcoin over the last 7 days, 2,000 Bitcoin to Fidelity. It's a chunk of change, isn't it? 1.41% is not really a big dump. I mean, that's true. That's true. I mean, 20% we start to panic. But yeah. Market isn't faithful. It's like, here we go again. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, where's the statistics? I got a message yesterday saying, oh, you should go through this thing. So we're at 62 on the Fear and Greed Index and 35 on the Altcoin Season Index. So you could argue with the Fear and Greed Index that, yeah, we're nowhere near the top. And as much as we have seen a slight uptrend in the market and things got a little bit more positive, we're still miles off the top at around, you know, when we're at 88, 90, 95. Like, we're so far away from it. It's kind of crazy to think about. So, you know, what does the last 30 days look like? Pretty boring. You know, so although we've seen fluctuations of price, the actual sentiment still is a bit pants, isn't it? Still a bit pants. So Trump speaks about Bitcoin tomorrow, if I'm correct. Or does he? Nice. Yeah, maybe Tim. Andy, what's going on? I'll take 23 on Bonk all day. Yeah, well, I don't think that's a bad price. That's where I potentially see it coming down to, but whether it gets there or not, I guess we'll see. Right, let's stay dialed into just what's going on in this market. I mean, look, we could come down a little bit further on BTC as well. We could wick to 116. You know, we did it yesterday on the back of that Fed meeting. So yeah, we'll see. What are you in, mate? High or low caps? I'm in all caps. No, I'm not really. So I have almost like a split portfolio. So top holdings are very much top end blue chips, and then I sort of have a little bit of like a play pot, if that makes sense, where we kind of go mess around with the meme coins, low caps, micro caps, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I guess if you were to argue and say, well, what would you deem your portfolio as? Big caps, blue chips, probably where I'm at. 70%, I'd say at the minute. I'd say, but I do like the try and speculate on what could be a good, you know, the next big project, or certainly when you start messing around a little bit here on DeFi, I think it's always good fun to keep an eye peeled on here as well. Man, you can see everything's taking a dip, man. Courage the Dog, now officially listed on MEXC, took a hit. It's actually had a very strong move today as well, but what you can see here, unfortunately, is MEXC's influence. You know, they'll start to dump those tokens that they get. That's just the way the exchanges work. So you've got to make sure that you know, can accommodate that selling pressure. They've put about 100 holders on there in the last couple of days. And then one that we were talking about for a while, Doge had a nice move up. DOWGE now looks like it's going back down again. This could be done if it breaks back below the 4, what do we say? Yeah, 040 range. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But good to see you, Steve. Welcome into the live. As always, we appreciate you guys. 4.5K likes, so thank you so much. 114K bounce. I mean, 114 would be pretty painful. I think 116 bounce is probably the first thing I'm looking for. That was yesterday's low as well. I mean, 114. We're back in sort of early July, aren't we? Really. Which could actually be lower than we've been for a long time. So yeah, probably not in that world really, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. I think the key thing here for me a little bit is understanding why. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a really major reason as to why the market's doing what it's doing, but at the same time, it is what it is. Right, just in Coinbase buy. Okay, there's an announcement about Coinbase buying some Bitcoin or something. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Coinbase to launch tokenized stocks. We got that. Just in Coinbase buys $222 million worth of Bitcoin in Q2 2025. Yeah, nice. So yeah, they're getting dialed in. They're certainly getting bullish on what's going on. And this is the thing, like, everybody's buying Bitcoin right now. Don't matter who you are, what company you are, who you work for. At the minute, everybody's buying Bitcoin. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, they are terrible for it, in fairness. Part of their big airdrop program that you have to buy into, by the way, when you do list with them, is basically they just give loads of your token away for free, so people just dump it straight away. But it is what it is. Legendary says the market liquidity is up higher. What the F is going down? Well, let's take a look. Let's see what the old liquidation is telling us. 2017 cycle on longer time frame, use and buy, sell. Yeah, it means something, that's true. So very much markets feel like the bears are in charge. Feels like the market's going to push down. You can see here, these will be liquidations if we were to go long on the market. So you'll see way bigger. TikTok I'm just going to show you because it's better. You'll see if the market pushes up, these are where you're going to get some liquidations. Market pushing down less so. This is on the 1 day here as well. If you go to the rest of the week, what does that look like? Actually, pretty even split in the markets, albeit we probably feel a little bit more bearish than we are. Don't necessarily think that's a true reflection, but yeah. So they don't pair the token, they just sell it off. Man, that sounds crazy. Well, so they do pair the token. So I think with MEXC listing, you have to give a set amount of tokens, and then it's like a prerequisite. So let's say they say, well, we want 30 grand of your token, we want 30 grand of USDT, and then we want 10 grand as a giveaway. And then what happens is they do the giveaway, and then they take your, you're basically buying a marketing package when you go to these exchanges. And the bigger the exchange, then, you know, the problem that they've got. But yeah, generally speaking, that's what happens. I saw my BTC holding for ETH 2 years ago. Interesting, Steve. How's that working out? I'm assuming you're as frustrated as I am, though, which is it's probably not working out as well as you hoped. I mean, you could tell me all you want, bestseller. It sounds pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. One-time RSI weekly can stay overbought for months. That's true. That's true. Do you think Algo will do well? I was talking about Algo 3 months ago when no one else was. And I was saying people need to keep an eye on it. You know, ISO 222. It was kind of a better H-bar. That was my view. That everyone was like crazy on H-bar. And I was talking about Algorand and people People faded it, baby. That was a really, really good trade. Is there some big news tomorrow? My mate was saying. I don't. Is there news tomorrow? I don't think so. We've had all the news this week, right? Unless there's some big earnings tomorrow. What have we got tomorrow? Oh no, there is. Yeah, there is. The initial jobs claim. So we get unemployment report basically, which is where Powell went to on the FOMC news, which was, we think the labor market is kind of weakening. And you've obviously got the official announcement of the August 1st tariff deadline, which I think most have kind of done all right, really. I think most have done all right. Yeah, I can imagine, Steve, same as me. So predictions, by the way, medium forecast is 100,000 unemployment versus 147,000 with an employment rate of an uptick of 0.1%. So, you know, anything below 4.1 employment rate would be seen as good news, and anything above probably 130,000 would feel fairly good news as to what this came in. PC, by the way, did come in a little bit over the sort we thought it might do by about 0.1%. So, again, that was another reason why we saw a little bit of selling off in the market, just as my view. A couple of catalysts that sort of drove us, I doubt, but no farm payrolls, is that what it is? So yeah, worth thinking about. So we'll see. Do you know what's interesting, Steve? I was in Ethereum actually, and then I'm pretty bullish on Ethereum Finance. So I took some Ethereum, converted it to wrapped Ethereum, which is the same value, and then I stake it paired with Ethereum Finance, and it's actually turned out pretty well. Is that not deleted, Tim? I thought I deleted all these that were coming up. I literally thought I deleted all them. I've literally got it here. Oh, hold on. No. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought I'd taken that off. Right. Yeah, it's this one. Get rid of that. Yeah. Sorry. Right, I think I've sorted it, Tim. Oh, yeah, I think I've sorted it. There we go. There we go. Right, sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about that. Stock earnings are today after the market closing. Yeah, so I think there's Apple coming in, and I think there is Microsoft coming as well. So, yeah, we'll see. Curtis says, "Oh, sorry, working but not being ignorant. Don't worry about it." What surprised me about the market is that Trump signs a new trade deal with the EU and Korea this week, and a couple of others actually, and Japan last week, and the market still dumps. Token market. Yeah, I think so, Robert. I think so as well. Yeah, no, I think I've fixed it now, Tim. I think. Double that bottom and moon, hopefully. Seeker of the way, what's going on? Welcome to you. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, I appreciate everybody tuning in on, by the way. Always good when you guys are here. Always vibing out on the lives, keeping it dialed in. It's all speculation after 5 years in the game, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's true. 2017, I first got in, so yeah. Can you check out DNX? X gonna give it to you. We're gonna give it to you. Gonna give it to you. Dynax, is it called? Dynex? That makes sense? Am I saying that right? I'm assuming it looks like some sort of Radian launch, right? Where are we at? 6516, down 50% so far as an all-time high. It is up on the week, though, by about 50%. That's pretty crazy. Down slightly today and then up pretty heavy on the month. So overall, long-term down, listed on... I mean, it looks all right. I have no idea outside of looking at what the project is, but I mean, you'd argue it's on an uptrend. Certainly people feel like they're talking about it, and it's got decent volume. 750,000 volume is down 25%, but I mean, it doesn't look like the worst project. I don't know anything about it though, but from a fundamental chart perspective, it looks okay. Same exact song I started singing. I say it one time. Great minds think alike. Microsoft already had earnings, or did it? Yeah, Meta had some earnings. They were pretty good, weren't they? I feel like Meta's earnings were pretty good as well today, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see. BitConnect. Yeah, man. The less said about that, the better, actually. The less said about BitConnect, the better. Just my view. Just my view. For what it's worth. Red Friday 50/50 we live. I mean, maybe Justin, yeah. I mean, this just feels painful right now, doesn't it? This just feels painful. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Please teach me how to trade in the stock market. I can't. There's plenty of sites out there that can. I advise you to go and get a proper course or go and practice, learn yourself. But I can't teach you. Like, yeah, I'm not very good at it, to be honest. I understand fundamentals. I can read charts and all the rest of it relatively well. But would I want to be doing any sort of, things? No, not sure. Not sure. Do you think Pepe Mike's? Yeah, I think so. I think Pepe's going to be big this bull market, bro. I think it's going to make a good move. It just, I don't know, it just feels a bit slow at the minute. Slow and steady wins the race, though, doesn't it? It did break below the support that we had here on Pepe, though. Did next stop could be 104. Might be we'd have to start to see a bit of a push down in the market, I think, personally. But yeah, Pepe could come down, retest a slightly low range, 105 maybe. If you were looking to maybe go long on that or looking for a spot play into it, might come down a little bit lower, yeah. It's, what? Yeah, I mean, that's true, RPM. It is boring. It is boring. What about Picoin, man? I talked about Picoin for a while. I think I've deleted it, but it's actually kind of come back a little bit. But I mean, still, look, if you can get some out of there for free, crack on. That's my opinion. Chris Mess says, who's your favorite YouTubers? Me, obviously. I like myself. Who do I listen to? Really? I don't, sorry, my trousers were getting stuck on my socks. I have who's staking. I'm upset they lowered the rate. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I'm assuming that's not dollars and actually just coins. I would say I just watch loads of people. So I watch Lark, Crypto. I occasionally watch Altcoin Daily. Sometimes I'll watch who else? Very rarely watch BitBoy. I like to watch some people. I'm going to say their names up because I like to watch them for like, what are they doing versus what am I doing? I think it's interesting to see what people's perspectives are. It's interesting to see how much of my content somehow makes it onto someone else's channel 24 hours later. So there'll be something like I talk about something and all of a sudden it's like, oh, 24 hours later, they're talking about it. Like certain couple of people, I'm sure, basically take what I talk about and put it on their channel, but they've got a bigger channel than I have. Traders' reality is decent and cracks and we'll get through. Yeah, maybe. I think so. I think we just got to get through a little bit of this, whatever this is at the minute, while it's all this like super crazy news and super good news for the crypto market. I think the overall market doesn't like it too much. Obviously, you've got a lot of debate whether crypto should be, as bullish as it is, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I mean, look, Bitcoin might be coming down to retest this lower range that we put in. Maybe it does. Maybe it pushes all the way down there. I mean, there's some pretty heavy sell-offs in it by day. You look at that. I think Pepe 2030, 2031 could see a couple of dollars. Maybe, yeah, I think Pepe's here for a long time. Got a good, likable meme that lots of people can relate to, in my opinion. Burrito boy. I'd definitely take a burrito right now. Definitely take a burrito. Spot ETF, spot Ethereum ETFs hit 5.37 billion inflows in 19 days. People still think we're going to zero. Angel, what's going on? Davo, what's going on, buddy? Welcome. Yeah, man, Bitcoin is dumping. The market does not like it. I mean, I say dumping, it's 1.19%, but, we're definitely seeing a pretty heavy push down in the market right now. If you think we actually wicked as high as nearly 119 today. So if you could argue and say it's bigger than 1.18, it's about a 2% move. Well, we haven't seen that other than here, which was back in the 15th of July. That was as aggressive. That was a 3.5% move down. So yeah, it's a pretty big move out. Pretty solid shakeout of the market. Do we see a lot of selling pressure coming in? Maybe. So yeah, apparently Michael Saylor's live streaming. Is that right? Well, how long we got left of the show? I've only about 5 minutes left of the show. Let's see. Apparently he is live streaming right now. He just sent me a message. He was like, 2-bit. Come on the strategy live stream. Oh man. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. I did actually message that podcast, by the way, so I'm gonna get that podcast dialed in and go on a podcast. I haven't done a podcast ever. Starting 31st July, 10 p.m. All right, starts in literally like 4 minutes. This crypto could be a game changer for sure, and I need it to, fingers crossed. So yeah, Aiden, you and me both. I'm hoping we'll get, I still think, by the way, and look, it's like 2% on a day on the back of the FOMC, definitely doing something that no one thought they were going to do. you kind of go, well, do you know what? Whatever it is, what it is. Is what it is. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. It's fine. It's fine. Legacy Wealth, what's going on? Welcome. Can't believe you didn't give Levi the credit he deserves to know that he's your fave streamer. Because, do you know why that is? And these are the sort of people that I do look. I've tried my hardest to watch some of his content. I really have. I really have. But the problem you've got is, and this is what I don't like, is that, like, this is a perfect example. The SEC just dropped an XRP bombshell. Did they? I don't think they did. They didn't drop anything to do with XRP. And you click here. I'm not going to roast him. Levi, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you're not, by the way, but I don't want to start any beef, but it's just nonsense. So many people then put in here going, it's nothing to do with XRP. Nothing to do with XRP. But it literally, it's just all about the SEC bit, in my opinion. You know, Jamie Dimon's not talking about XRP. This is the problem. But then here's the thing, 6,000 people watch it in an hour. It's like, okay, hell, what's going on? Like, craziness. XRP will shatter all expectations in August. Matt Hogan doesn't talk about freaking XRP. I don't think he says it once. Anyway. YNWS says, Isaac to Liverpool paid by crypto. What? The crypto could be the game changer. Hopefully. I don't know what that says. I'm new. Why store my crypto in a cold wallet? Pros and cons. Why store in a cold wallet, i.e. like a Ledger or a Trezor? Because it can't get hacked. That's the best way of doing it. It's as safe as you can get. You've got no compromise in terms of your computer. It's not available on the internet, so it can't get hacked at that point. It's the safest way on a cold storage wallet to store your cryptocurrency. If you store it on your computer can get hacked. They can get your keylogger. Like, all sorts of crazy stuff's going to happen. Again, it's relative to what you've got. If you've got like $500 of cryptocurrency, like I wouldn't say you don't need a cold wallet. Like, just store it on a MetaMask or an exchange. Like, it's $500. If you've got $500,000, you probably want to put it in a cold wallet. Yeah, I probably does Tomato Pete. I probably agree with Levi, but don't mind the moon Lambo. Yeah, Erasmo, what's going on, buddy? I can't even stand listening to Lambo says same thing daily, gets nowhere. Too many people making constant noise about XRP and I've got a full bag. Yeah, Aiden, we're locked in. We are locked in. Hey, Legacy, thanks for the follow. Again, if you've got any questions, by the way, please drop them in the chat. I'll try and answer them the best I can. I've been investing in this market since 2017. I've been wrecked. I've been rug pulled. I've been scammed. I've made some plays. We've made some big wins. We've lost a lot. You know what I mean? We've done it all. And now we're here in 2025 to try and dial this bull market and turn it into the biggest bull market yet. And so far, it's turning out to be quite a challenge. Bro, check SHIB on the base chart. Live on what? Bro, check SHIB on base chart. Live on 1,500 billboards across the US. Really? SHIB on base. Is it literally called SHIB on base? Have I seen this before? Just comes up with Shiba Inu. Is it literally called SHIB on base? Because nothing's coming up. Maybe I need to just click on the base gen. Is it this one? Shiba Inu. Well, we'd hope not, because it's got zero liquidity, so it can't be that. Shiba Inu. On the base chain, yeah. Is altcoin cancelling? Nah, I think it's still fine. That's got awful liquidity. That's got relatively bad liquidity. I don't know what it is. I don't know which one it is. All I can see is like some scammy projects. I'm not saying yours is, by the way, but I don't want to bring up a project that's not the one you're talking about. In my opinion. So what's going on, Aptus? Welcome, buddy. Don't forget, we're at 6,000 likes, everybody. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. But yeah, hope you're doing well. And like I said, do I think altcoin seasons? No. Me might say, yeah, I think it is, but I don't want to bring up the wrong project, so I'm gonna just leave it there. Levi and Matt Perry never used to talk about XRP until it started going up there. That's true. XDC's been good recently. Can you see a 10x? Maybe. I mean, look, XDC is... yeah, XDC's been going crazy, by the way. Don't know if that helps. What did you say? Oh, Northern said, shared the live. Hey, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. As always, look, any little helps. You know what Tesco say? The guy yesterday, best way to spend $15. Yeah. Oh, dear. In all fairness, he makes decent jeans. I mean, that's true. That's true. Cardano hits 300,000 plus smart contracts live. Oh my god. How much we can believe in ChatGPT prediction? None. None. That's my view. Well, that's not true actually. You can take a steer. You can take a steer in terms of, you know, AI. AI can run a lot of data very quickly. That's my opinion. Is this one? None of them got any liquidity though. Like none of them. This has got 227, 2.8k. I'm assuming it's this one. Is it 60k, 7 million market cap, doing 0 volume though? None of them's got liquidity. So yeah, I don't know. I can't be bothered to look for it now. It's doing me editing and trying to find it. I mean, this one maybe no liquidity. So yeah, okay, I can't be bothered. You need to start talking about Chill House before it goes to a Billy market cap. Okay, let's bring Chill House up. Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah, I've seen that one. Is it really heading to a Billy? Jesus. Chill House. Man, look at this thing. Yeah, what's that? $16 million market cap. I mean, it's on a nice pullback right now. What's it on? Solana, yeah? It's on a nice pullback. Is it going to move, though? 9 million volume is pretty insane. We'll stick it on the list. There you go. Look, it's made it to the list. Let's go. Let's go. We'll leave it on the list for sure. Leave it with me. 8 million market cap, 537k liquidity. Right, why can't I find it? And I've literally even got the contract base. What does the contract end with? Got 537k in liquidity. Man, this better be good when I eventually find it. Just type what the last like 4 letters of the contract addressing, because this just can't be right. It can't be right. Yeah. What is your favorite scent? Fresh meadow grass in the morning? A cut lawn? A sunflower blowing in a summer breeze? I don't know. 6BF7. Is that what we put? Is that this one? 6BF7, yeah. Okay, fine. Let me do it. Let me do it somewhere else because it's not bringing up anything that makes sense, in my opinion. There we go. I've got it. I've got it. For some reason, it's not pulling through probably on Dex. Right, Shiba Inu on base. Currently an $11 million market cap with, 4.5k in volume. What are we on here? The hourly. Let's go to the daily. I mean, this is the power of meme coins, isn't it? So it's done nothing for ages and then kaboom, it's gone absolutely. So why is it gone kaboom, by the way? Why is it all of a sudden just spiked over the course of the last 24 hours? Was that the perfect question for you to say 50 cent? CTO. Okay, fair enough. Jude, what's going on? Good to see you. Johnny B's here as well. Send to the moon. Michael, Quan looking good. Jude, Nacho on Casper. Yeah, what is Nacho doing? We haven't looked at that for a while, actually. Nacho the cat. How long BTC go to today? Oh, how low? Well, I think if it was going to go lower, 116 would be my push down. It's trying to rally a little bit back up to 116.7. So how is Nacho the cat doing? Yeah, it's down a little bit. Volume what? 522k volume. So yeah, not looking particularly wonderful. Hopefully it's, hopefully it can reverse. I think there's some good things coming to Casper. So I've been told anyway. So, we'll see how this plays out. But what do you think of Tom? Oh, Toncoin. Yeah, I talked about I was in that in the investment group. I kind of like Toncoin. I thought it was going to do all right. And then obviously had that massive rally when Pavel went to a French prison and, kind of started cooking on gas a little bit and then sort of has, cooled off a little bit on the back of it. You don't really hear much about it now, but yeah, Toncoin was looking kind of cool. Yeah. What do we need monthly BTC to close at? Good question. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Bitcoin on the monthly. Well, I mean, right now, what have we got left? 2 hours, 52. I mean, we're going to close pretty high. We'll close the highest ever monthly candle. So you could argue and say that's relatively bullish, actually, isn't it? We've never closed higher than we are right now. I guess what you don't want to see is probably a dip any lower, but I don't think we're not going down to 112 or anything crazy like that. So anyway, everybody, that does bring us to the end of the show. It's 7 minutes past 10, and Gonzalo's just messaged me saying he's sat in front of the computer, so I need to go and see him. So, but yeah, I think lots to think about in the markets. We are seeing a little bit of down pressure. Okay, Gonzalo needs 10 minutes. That's fine then. Don't worry about it. Solar market cap just collapsed 5 billion in 1 minute. What? No, it didn't. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? Solana's market cap dropped 7 billion. Has it? Maybe they sold something. How do you know that? That can't be true, is it? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We can literally bring it up on the screen. Market cap on the day. It hasn't. You are talking. Well, when it market. Yeah, no, absolutely not. It's dropped a little bit. It's dropped about 4. Yeah, it's dropped 4 billion. But you'd argue we've seen it in the rest of the market as well. So, you know, Bitcoin. The fact that it's dumped nearly 2% probably makes sense. Inching back up now. Yeah, hopefully. Aiden, no, thank you for taking your time and chilling out with us. I appreciate it. As I do with everyone else, by the way. We're trying to build out a community. You know, it was taking a little bit of time. We're getting there. But we appreciate you guys, as always, tuning in. So, look, I think the monthly close looks pretty optimistic. I think we're going to be fine. And, yeah, bullish is my view. I think we've definitely got some more upside. I'm definitely more optimistic than I am bearish. I know maybe I didn't come across as that tonight, but, you know, I think where the market sits, we... you know, we've been in worse situations and come back. Jesus. Let's hope so. Anyway, no, I'm only kidding. We're definitely getting that. Look, it's a long way to go. Yeah. If we say the market cycle first peak is August and the top's in October, like, yeah, we got plenty of time yet. We got plenty of time. It just always feels a bit better when the market's going up than when the market's going down. But let's see. Let's see what the Asian markets do. The last couple of nights, they've come in and bought pretty aggressively. It has been either the Europeans or the US markets that have decided that they're going to dump the market. But with that being said, everybody, I'm out of here. As always, I appreciate your time. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Don't forget, 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live, 9 p.m. in the UK. If you want to hear all more about cryptocurrency, come and join us. I'll catch you guys all on the flip side.